Welcome to Cathode-Kits.com. Here we sell tube amp kits for a number of different models. We have a Class A 6V6 kit that has two 12AX7s as well. The circuits are laid out generically, all wired, and you can add any components you want. The heaters are all connected. The power supply is on board. Everything is on board except your controls and your transformers. Here is a 3-watt Class A 6V6 amp, and you can see here all the controls come off the board on the edge. There's an area for the power supply. The AC voltage comes in on this connector here. You got your high voltage and your heater voltage, 6.3 for the heater. This is the output to the transformer. So you've got the power supply, all the connectors. The power supply goes through, and you've got your top rail here and the ground rail here. All the 12AX7 circuits are generically laid out on the circuit board. You just have to add the values or connect the stages the way you want. You've got a tone stack area as well. So you can build any flavor of amp you want. You can use an extra stage, you can use a stage for reverb or for tremolo, whatever you want, and you can build your own little amplifier. We're not really promoting cloning other people's amps, but most boutique amps sold these days are not clones. They're slightly modified to get the sound you want to get. But the advantage of the cathode kit is very fast build time. Point-to-point amps are great, but take a long time to assemble. You could assemble a cathode kit amp in one day, from start to finish pretty much. So the nice thing about it being connector based is you can take the circuit board out and back in and do changes to it or whatever, and without having to desolder the whole thing. And the circuit board is a very rugged circuit board. It's double-sided, plated through, and as long as you mount your sockets tight to the board, bend the tabs over and solder them, they're rock solid. You'll never give you trouble. Some of the cheaper circuit boards that are single-sided and not plated through, they are not a good idea for a tube amp because the pads will lift. But these boards are extremely tough, and the physical construction is as important as electrical. So if your socket is solidly mounted to your board where it can't move, then you solder. You won't have any trouble with it. All right. So we make 3 models of circuits. We make the 6V6 Class A. I make an EL84 push-pull amp, and this amp can either be cathode biased or fixed bias, generally around 12 watts. Extremely good sounding amp, depending on how you wire it. But this is a great little rock and blues amp. And the same thing here, you've got your power supply, you've got all your heaters connected, you've got all your stages laid out where you can put them in any order you want. You could have this as your input stage, this is your second stage, so depending on how you jumper the wires between them, you can have different stages in different order. You can have it a 1-channel or a 2-channel. Over here is your tone stack area. It's all laid out for standard tone stacks, but you can wire it any way you want. I've got along the edge here area to connect your controls. You can either hardwire them to these, or you can use a Molex socket connectors, which really it's great for service. If you want to remove a board quickly, you can unplug your connectors, plug them back in, and connectors will never give you trouble. Connectors are used in every electronic device ever built these days, so you don't have to worry about connectors. On the back, you can see the ground plane. So, and also I have a 6V6 board, a twin push-pull 6V6 board or 6L6, whatever you want. And it's basically the same as the EL84 one, except it's got 6L6s, or the 6 series tubes. And this one can be anywhere from 20 watts to 40 watts. If you put two 6L6 GCs in this board and run it at a higher voltage, you can get a lot of power out of it, at least close to 40 watts, I think, or around 40 watts. But this is a great sounding Fender style amp. And this EL84 amp is you can make it sound like a Vox or a Marshall. So this is more of a British sound, this is more of an American sound. Anyway.